Hey there, everybody. So, good morning. Headed up to the local patch here, and it gets me out of the office, which is nice. So I'll be able to exercise the old photography synapses and keep my hand in. And it's springtime, so the conditions are different, which is nice. And it's always good to get out of the office. Making videos there is, I've tried to minimize that as much as I can. If the conditions are decent, I'll go out. Even though somebody made the comment I need to go someplace different, and I completely agree with that. And I will, but you know, life happens and there's a lot going on, and I don't know why I'm not that busy. But it just seems like I never have a chance to take a trip, although that's going to change shortly here. And I'm looking forward to that. Maybe next week we'll be able to get out and get somewhere and get something interesting happening. But still, getting out to my local patch here is better than not getting out at all. And so that's what I'm doing today. All right, I'm out in the local patch today, and it is a little cool, a little breezy. Had to put the old jacket on. So I've got 5 beginner tips for better digital landscape photography today. I've been spending a lot of time playing around with film. And I thought it would be good to get back to the old digital medium. I really enjoyed photographing the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights the other night, and that would not, I mean, I could have done it, I could have gotten I could have tried to get a couple of shots with film, but digital really made that a lot easier. So there is that. Digital does have its place. And let's be honest, I mean, digital can be fun. So, I mean, every time you push the button, it doesn't cost you $7 like it does with an 8x10 in black and white, or $50 in color. So, yeah, that's a little prohibitive. Anyhow, the first tip I got for you is shoot RAW plus JPEG. I know it uses up a lot of hard drive space, and I know it uses up a lot of memory card space, but these days hard drives are cheap and memory is cheap, and even if you're just using the JPEGs now, someday you may want to use the RAWs. The JPEGs are processed files in camera, and so the camera throws away a lot of the data that it thinks it doesn't need. And most of the time the JPEGs are fine, they're good quality images, but the RAW files should be, depending on the camera, all the information that the sensor was seeing when you took the photograph. So with the RAW file, you have the capability to throw away the information you don't want when you convert it to a JPEG or a TIFF or whatever. And you do that with post-processing. And so the RAW files give you options, where the JPEG files, everything's kind of baked in already. And if you don't like what the camera did or how it processed it, you can't really go back and do too much different. So, because you've thrown away a lot of the data. And also, so like if you're shooting for Instagram or social media, or you're just going to view your cameras on a computer, JPEGs are fine. But if you want all that information to print from, to get the highest quality prints, or further down the line, you might want to print, it's always good to have the RAW files around. If you're going through all the trouble to go out and photograph something, why not shoot RAW plus JPEG? So that's my #1 tip. I always shoot RAW plus JPEG, and I use both. A lot of times I just use the JPEGs if I'm just throwing the photographs up on social media or using them on YouTube, etc. If I'm printing, I usually print from a raw file. So that's how I do it. Keeping my hand in photography and just looking for compositions and trying different things. I saw this fence in the woods with the dappled light behind me over here with the tree, and I cropped to 3:4 to get more of a 4:5 ratio kind of a thing happening, and I took a shot. So I'm at f8, and it's giving me, at ISO 100, it's giving me a 1/13 of a second. And I use the 2-second self-timer, and I have a polarizing filter on. And the polarizing filter, it tends to saturate the greens a little bit more. So I've got this tree coming in, but you know, really the thing that attracted me was the log leaning up against the fence. So I'm going to move in a little bit closer, which is what I really need to do. And I'm being lazy, kind of, not lazy, but just like, I don't know. You know, you just get these things in your head that keep you from getting the shot you really want. And like, there's nothing really preventing me here. It's I don't know. It's like this pile of debris here is like, I don't want to get too close to it. It's weird what happens in your head when you're composing stuff. So I'm going to get closer. So this is more the shot that I had in mind when I originally saw. Pre-visualization, yeah. Epic shot, no, but just keep my hand in, trying to make, you know, find a scene that you like and try to make the best that you can of it in terms of technically and compositionally. And you know, this might be another bonus tip in terms of like practice. Go out and practice. So yeah. Which, you know, being outside and photographing, it's always a good day. So my second tip for just starting out with your digital camera and wanting to do landscape photography, and this applies to all kinds of photography that you'd want to do when you're just starting out with your digital camera, strive to get it right in camera, okay? Don't fall into the trap of saying, I'm going to fix it in post. As a matter of fact, you should never say you're going to fix it in post when you post-processing on your computer when you're home. When you're out in the field, you should really try to get your images, get your JPEGs looking right. Okay, get them to look like the way you want them to look while you're out in the field, and learn how to do that. And that's the number one thing I could tell you to learn photography. Because if you're going to get your exposures all wrong when you're out in the field and you're just going to jack around the exposure slider in your post-processing software, you're not learning anything. You're not learning how your shutter speeds work or how your apertures work. So get it right in the camera. And that's the whole point of photography, of being a photographer, is so that when you're out in the field, you can get the shot. And you don't have to, the image quality will always be better if you get it as close to the way you want it in the field. And my third point is strive to achieve minimal post-processing. You know, just because you can jack the saturation sliders around, or you can do 500 different luminosity masks and make a graphic arts representation of what you saw out in the field, hey, if that's your bag, like, I totally dig it. But to me, that's not photography. To me, that's graphic arts on a computer. I'm not really sure, once you head down that slippery slope, why bother going out in the field at all? Just tell GP, Chat, IT, AI program what you want a scene of and let it make it, right? I mean, so yeah, if you're going out to photograph the natural world, why are you making your photographs not look anything like what you saw? That doesn't make any sense at all to me. My rule of thumb is that if you were standing next to me while I took the photograph and I showed you my print, or you saw it on social media a week later, you'd say, yeah, that's how I remembered it looked. Now, there's a certain latitude in that you can, you know, enhance certain things and de-enhance certain things. Is de-enhance a word? And I get that, right? Like dodging and burning in the darkroom. But if you go out and you got a little bit of a pink in the sky at sunset, and you come back with like this super high voltage sunset, and I go, that's not what it looked like, you know, that's my rule of thumb. So when the images on my channel that you've seen in all my videos have been minimally post-processed, usually with a RAW file or even a JPEG, I might boost the contrast a little bit. I might boost the saturation just a hair. I don't want it to look flat because the natural world doesn't look flat to me. Okay, but on the other hand, I'm not gonna put a sunset somewhere. I'm not gonna, you know, if there's a little bit of a pink tinge in the sky, I'm not gonna boost the saturation sliders so all of a sudden it was an epic sunset. I think you get the idea. Strive for minimal post-processing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I really like the river here with the tree across the way, so I'm gonna try to frame up a vertical on that. All right, so I'm getting f11 at 1/20th of a second, and that's with -1 exposure compensation and ISO 100, and I really want more of a half a second or a second exposure to kind of blur the water a little bit. So I'm going to dig out a neutral density filter. So this is interesting. I have a variable neutral density filter that I use for video that I think I'm going to try on this experimentally, because my other neutral density filters are like 6 stops, and that's not what I want. So let's see what this does for us. Yeah, I can dial in exactly what I want. So there's half a second at f11. Yeah, very nice. Number 4, gear doesn't matter that much. But it sure is fun, isn't it? And I've gone through a bunch of gear, you know, I can never make up my mind. I try different things, but a lot of people do that. I mean, hey, if you're one of those people that is still shooting with your grandpa's Spotmatic, awesome. Like, good for you. You had one camera for 50 years. That's awesome. That's not me. In my mind, I'm always weighing the pluses and the minuses, and then there's the financial worries and things like that. But the bottom line comes down to, we are at a point now where peak camera happened 10 years ago, and so you can very easily put together a great landscape kit that's going to be like not state of the art, but it's going to be really, really high quality, better gear than I ever had 30 years ago when I was like banging around actually trying to accomplish something. And you can do that really cheap these days. There are some cameras and lenses that you can get really inexpensively if you go back, you know, 10 years. And start slow and build it up, and you know, pick a brand that you really like and stick with it. You know, what I would recommend is pick the camera that's current right now today that you would really want to shoot with if you had unlimited funds and you had the money. and then buy like the model of that camera from 5 or 6, 8 years ago used, and some lenses, etc. And there you go. I mean, you can probably get the model of camera that you want today for a third the price used, or even less in some cases. And so if you start there, you're building into the system. Now, as you progress and as you learn, you may decide that that's not exactly the camera that you wanted, etc., whatever. But the point is get a camera, get some lenses, get out there, do it. And if you don't have the money to get your dream camera right now, there are plenty of other cameras out there that you can get that are really inexpensive to get in the game. So there it is. I'll give you a bonus tip on that one. There are some accessories you shouldn't skimp on. One of them being a tripod. You know, in the beginning when I first started out, I was always lured by the you know, the shiny cameras and the shiny lenses, and I still am to today. But when I started becoming a pro and when things started getting better for me in terms of the frustration of photography, my frustration level dropped when I started getting, like when I got my first really high quality tripod. And I still have, tripods are the kind of thing where they're worth the money to spend on them because you'll have them for 20 or 30 years or longer. My middleweight Gitzo, my 200 series Gitzo, is now like 30 years old. And so that's well worth the money. I know I spent like $600–700 on that, but it was well worth the money. So a good Arca Swiss quick release system, it's worth $100. It really, and nowadays you can get Arca Swiss plates and quick releases to screw onto almost any tripod head on Amazon for like $10. $20 will get you the whole system. I mean, you know, back in the day, an Arca Swiss system, you know, it cost you $200–300. The plates were $100, the quick releases were $100, etc. So don't skimp on the accessories. You don't need much. The one place to really lower your frustration level is a high quality tripod, high quality ball head or tripod head, and with a high quality Arca Swiss quick release system. That's really worth investing in. So there is that. So gear doesn't matter, but it does matter in terms of making your life, your photographic life, more fun and more enjoyable and easier to accomplish your goals. So tip number 5, get out there. If you want to be a landscape photographer, the landscapes are happening outside your house. And the next thing I'm going to say, I don't follow myself, and I need to admonish myself for that, especially when you're making excuses to not go out. I've missed more shots because I wanted to go photograph something and I was thinking about it. I looked out the window, I was like, man, the conditions aren't really that good. It's cold, it's raining, I don't feel like it, whatever. Whatever the excuses are, when you're making excuses, that's when you need to force yourself to get out there and to photograph, because that's probably when the best photographs are happening. Another winter has gone by where every day I looked out the window, I saw the snow and the ice. I mean, I got out there a little bit, but not as much as I wanted to. I really need to take more trips in the wintertime. I just, you know, I'm getting older and the cold really bothers my joints, etc. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Don't do it. Get out there. Which is easy to say when it's, you know, 55 degrees with a light breeze and a beautiful sunny day, etc. But seriously, when the conditions are good, get out there. All right? Hey, thanks for coming along today. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. That's the #1 thing you can do to help out my channel, not the bell part, the subscribe part. And I, again, really appreciate it. So we'll see you out here. Have a great one. Bye.